one night's journey by train in a village called Moinapur, has set up a rural health foundation. How do you take care of the all-round health of villagers? And he is trying to develop it. So he's not developed it yet. Of course he has a model to follow, Narayan Hrudayalaya, but Narayan Hrudayalaya is huge. And Narayan Hrudayalaya is urban. This is not urban, this is in the middle of nowhere. So how does he set up? He is seeking to develop a model. So let me give you a little background. Every year he buys tickets for 2 or 3 people, 2 people preferably, by train, because you need in India, you have to buy it, because the only way to get there is by train. Road journeys in monsoon, in the rains, is not advisable. So he's booked tickets for 2 people, or he wants to book tickets, and the tickets get finished very quickly. So he wants to know very soon. He's been asking me for the last 10 days, so give me the names. I said, well, just wait. So next class I'll give the projects, assignments that are suggested, and there are some more you can add to it. So this is a picture from that village in front of his medical foundation, Rural Health Foundation. By the way, in India's villages, general health care is terrible. So there's a greater need of this than for a heart hospital like Narayan Hrudayalaya, right? If you think of the larger population of India. So his session is on leadership in NGOs, because he's trying to emulate a leader, but he's trying to develop a new model of leadership. So anyway, then you meet this guy. This session will be on education, like last one was in health. This one will be on education. And education, there is a case called Pratham. In fact, in India, you will find the government is, we don't have much faith, let me put it this way. We don't have, unlike China, our faith on government is very low. So in terms of schooling also, Pratham is a case that you will find. Pratham has significantly supported education in India, but they are not the only one. Vikramshila is another organization which worked along with Pratham to develop education for the masses. So he currently represents Vikramshila. He will judge your case on Pratham, like Dr. Dev will judge your case on Narayan Hrudayalaya. He works in Narayan Hrudayalaya, so he's quite capable of judging your presentation and commenting on it. But then he will start off from Narayan Hrudayalaya, where he works, into the Rural Health Foundation. So that will also provide him a good starting ground. Same here, when he judges Pratham for you, he will embark on the story of Vikramshila, which is similar but not the same. So you'll get a perspective of a slightly different journey, and Vikramshila is heavily present in this region, so you will get a live case study. So all these are actually live case studies. They'll tell you the story of their organization, the challenges of their organization, the models of their organization, the structure of their organization. But the important thing is ask. Because this is a rare opportunity to bring together all these people into this course. So feel free to ask them. Okay, now remember we talked of Ramakrishna Mission. So this is their social initiative. This is the Loka Shiksha Parishad. Loka Shiksha Parishad actually translated into English means something that is vocational education and empowerment of the deprived. Okay, so that is what they do. So they believe service to man is service to God. So you will have a gentleman here who comes in, and I think the session he judges is the case he judges is Annapurna Mahila Mandal, and the session is managing the NGO organization. So they actually asked him to share that this huge monolith called Ramakrishna Mission Loka Shiksha Parishad, how do they manage? Their challenges must be known. So that perspective, it will be a different thing from Annapurna Mahila Mandal, but nevertheless he will judge that. Then there's a long break. This time, and I'll share that calendar with you, there are lots of holidays. So you'll find that I think there is 23rd is Bhaskar, but on 25th October, there's a session on fair trade. There's a case called Mother Earth in your booklet. That's a fair trade case. You will present it, and This is one of the largest fair trade organizations of Asia, not just India. It's headquartered in Calcutta. It's one of the most successful entrepreneurial. It was set up during the Bangladesh liberation movement when refugees came here. The refugees wanted, shelter. Like, today many refugees are coming into Europe, so they look for shelter, they look for work, they look for something to occupy themselves. It becomes a social problem, it needs to be taken care of. So this organization was set up then, and this lady is not the lady, of course. These are kind of the stuff they make, and she is their executive director, somebody who works in that organization. Again, the perspective of not the founder, but somebody who's working. That's important. And so she'll present the story of Sasha. Then, this is the first time a company will come. One of the only times a company, ITC is one of our biggest business conglomerates, but they do significant work in the social sector. So this is one of their missions. So they partner with NGOs. So this session is a very interesting session. It's called, you might have seen when I showed you, yes, this session. Business NGO partnership. So this is the session he will talk about. There's a case, Pepsi Basics. Pepsi is, as you know, multinational company. Basics is an NGO, but more a kind of NGO which teaches. So basically, they do capacity building. So it's a capacity building NGO, and basically, Vijay, who will come, is an operations manager of ITC Agro, and he will talk about how they do. Last time we spoke about women empowerment, basically in that venture of business NGO partnership. And then, last but not least, this gentleman, who's, as I said, made waves in Eastern India. In terms of market cap, I think they only follow SBI now, meaning their IPO, initial public offering, has been a runaway success. It's created Bandhan Bank. But basically, he started with the microfinance. He started with a salary of 5,000 rupees in an NGO. Then he set up a non-banking financial corporation much later, and now he's converted that into a huge success story. So we've been very lucky in this course that even people like him come every year still, although they are mightily busy in Washington today and somewhere else tomorrow, but still, I've managed to get his date. So this is one of the last classes. So they work significantly on poverty alleviation, women empowerment, and grassroots. Basically work with the ultra poor. There's a whole host of programs that are not necessarily the bank. Very charismatic man. Very difficult to follow his English, let me tell you. His English is quite bad, but he's a great success story. As a person, he's also, if you've heard of Ashoka, Innovators for the Public, ashoka.org, Innovators for the Public, it's basically an organization that rewards social innovation in a big way. He's a senior Ashoka fellow, maybe even more now. He used to be a senior Ashoka fellow. Okay, so something that you must have been dying to know what this is. So this is it. So this one I've said 25, but it's actually 20 plus 5. 20 is for the case analysis, which is the group, and 5 marks are there for class participation. I just signed off the form this morning. So depending on how you participate, because there will be so many occasions for you to ask, to interact, to know. So that those 5 marks, of course, it has to be an intelligent intervention. The quiz is 35 marks. It's usually case-based. So depending on all that you've picked up, we give you a case towards the end, and you kind of respond to that. And this is the highest weightage is here, the field work. So I'll just take a little while to explain this, because this is one of the, in operational terms, the most difficult part of the course. It's easy, but you know what makes it difficult? Because there are, if you look at your term calendar, and I say this and I don't want to say this every time, but if you looked at your term calendar in terms of dates, October, a significant part of October, there are no classes. Either you're sitting exams or it's a holiday. In November also, I think there is placement or whatever. So a big part of this, it's a very disconnected term. So there are a lot of holidays which makes it interesting for you, but it does not necessarily make for a smooth running of the course. So my request is by next week, I'll try and put up as many assignment titles as I can get by Thursday, by let's say this weekend. Take 1 week to finalize either one thing from that list or something that might interest you and you already have an NGO in mind. It cannot be your own NGO. It's one restriction which people. If you founded an NGO or you've been working several years, that's not what we want to know. We want you to do work while you are in this course. So something that's new for you. Not something that you've already done somewhere, sometime, or still doing. Okay? Otherwise, it doesn't stay a level playing field. So this is important because this is 40 marks and there are some people, and two things go wrong. One is by the time you kind of select something and you talk to the NGO, they say, well, come over one day. Then they are reluctant to give dates. You find it difficult. By the time the meeting happens, September and October are gone. And in November, there's such a pressure of coursework, and then everything is staring at you and you're saying, when am I going to do it? So please, 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 I'll try and facilitate. Our TTA for this course, Anvesha Sahu, is absent, going to be absent this week. She's invigilating for examinations. She'll come in at, I think, a little late next class. But that is something you have to take up with her, be after the NGO, get a date, get an appointment, and get going on the project. Okay, if required you read up or do whatever, but by next weekend, that means what is next week? Today is, we are on the 4th. So before the 18th, I want a final assignment from you, which NGO you're working with, which project you're working with. Now, something to be said on the assignment. You can have two kinds of assignments. One is a micro, see, it's an individual grading. So each one has to do something different. But what tends to happen is it's a micro project, something very small. Then it's good for one person, you take it, you just go to that NGO and you work and that's it. But sometimes NGOs give you a little larger assignment, which is not possible in this short time frame with one person. So you can make a team and you can go to that NGO and work it out, and you have to divide the work clearly. And let me say this up front, you need to give us a hard copy as well as a soft copy, end of the term. Because that has also got to go to your, to the person on the other side, that means the NGO. The NGO has a say in your grading in this 40%. So if you've just fooled around or not done work as per their expectation, then it's difficult. So you need to have a meeting of minds. It's very complicated that way. Because they need to understand you, you need to understand them. So it's not easy. You'll find that out. But that's it. And basically, tentatively, this is the date of the quiz. I put it up today because, as I said, it's a difficult term logistically. So it's important that you are traveling nowhere, you don't get into any competitions, you are not interviewing. So make sure you are there on the 13th of November. Okay? So that's about it. Then this is the guest faculty who takes the last 4 sessions. This is after the quiz. And I think this is from last year, so this now will be 23. And then, of course, he's been doing work in these areas. And basically, he teaches also in Russia, and Japan, Finland, whatever. These are the subjects he teaches: marketing, general management, sustainability, etc. That's it. So that's my, now is your time. You ask whatever questions you feel like asking. Yes?
I'd like to go back on something you said about leadership, like